You've got to be kidding. Raptors, they lose. Game 1, Eastern Conference semifinals. Cleveland Cavaliers win 113-112 in overtime. The Raptors started out great. 33-19 in the first quarter. They lost the second quarter by 11, but don't worry, you still get the lead by 3 at the half. Third quarter. The Raptors come out and, it's kind of basket for basket, but you're +2 in the third quarter, so you're up by 5 after 3. We go to the fourth quarter, when it matters. And the Raptors, through the fourth quarter in overtime, shoot under 30% from the field. When it matters, we've talked about it all playoff long, you got to make your runs when it matters, and the Raptors did not in the game. And I'm not saying that they just took stupid shots. They missed so many little bunnies. Offensive rebound, it's an easy putback, it rims out. Jakob Poeltl had a couple of those. JV had a couple of those. I mean, there were so many, and we're all pulling our hair out like, you gotta be kidding me. And then JV and Pascal Siakam in the fourth quarter missed 2 free throws in a row. Like, each guy misses 2. And you're like, those are going to come back to haunt you. Now, LeBron James didn't shoot well from the free throw line. He did have a triple-double in the game, but he was 1 of 6 from the free throw line. But still, the Raptors couldn't make their shots when they needed to. And you look at the dying seconds of regulation. Freddie VanVleet, clutch Freddie, steady Freddie, buzzer beater. Well, not a buzzer beater, but almost a buzzer beater 3. It rims out. CJ has a chance to knock it in. He can't do it. JV, an easy bunny, misses it. We're like, you had a tiny bit of time. You could have grabbed it and put it back up, but he doesn't. And we go to overtime. And the Cleveland Cavaliers get up to a 6-point lead in overtime. We're like, this is killing me. It's nuts. And then the Raptors play some defense and they get some points. And we're like, all right, it's a 1-point game. DeMar, I'm thinking DeMar's going to be ISO on this last play. I'm like, oh no, this is how it's going to go. He does drive, but he kicks it to Freddie for a second opportunity and he misses it again. The inability to hit your clutch shots killed the Toronto Raptors in the game. Look, Cleveland, they came back, they fought, they have LeBron James. That's that period. They won this game. But the Raptors, the shots that they had to make, they didn't. The team overall shot only 43%, but they shot 41%. We only shot 32% from three-point line, 9 of 28, and they made 14 threes, 5 more. That is 15 points right there in the differentiators from the three-point line. That is a big difference. Free throw line, look, we got to the line 10 more times. That was a big thing, but the big reason why? They were driving. They were putting pressure on them. They were making them make contact and getting fouls. We were +4 on the glass. We were +1 in the offensive glass, but a couple big offensive rebounds down the stretch for the Cavs won the game. So those numbers are over the course of all 48 minutes, including the extra 5 in overtime. But overall, the Raptors did not do a very good job down the stretch. They had 25 assists. We had 5 steals to their 2. We had 13 turnovers. They only had the 5. But look, the inability to knock down your big shots. Kyle Lowry had 18 and 10. He was very good in the game, 6 of 12 shooting, 3 of 6 from 3. He was great. DeMar had 22, 7 and 5 on 10 of 20 shooting. He was 0 of 4 from 3, but Kyle and DeMar both shot 50% from the field. They were great. JV, 21 points, 21 rebounds. Problem, in the late game when you needed him to be big, he wasn't there. And as much as 21 and 21 is a big total, and he said it, I think it was in the third quarter, you can't guard me. Well, they didn't have to guard you because you made yourself look stupid there late in the game. Ibaka was nowhere to be found until late. He ends only with 9 points, OG with 7. Look, he did as good of a job against LeBron James as anybody could on this team. Siakam with 11. But guys, Freddie had 9, but he was 2 of 7 shooting and 1 of 5 from 3, and he missed those 2 big shots. And we talked about it in the podcast. We've talked about it in the round 1 preview. Game 1 being a statement game for the Raptors, and they lose it in overtime. At one point, they had a 14-point lead. That dwindles down, and you lose in OT. Now, people are going to complain, saying, LeBron gets all these calls and stuff. Look, to be totally honest, the Raptors, they got a lot of calls. Were there calls the refs missed for the Raptors? Yes. Were there calls the refs missed for the Cavaliers? Yes. It's this game. One play that I laugh at, and I'm like, this is just a reputation call. This is the superstar-driven league call, is when Freddie VanVleet and him get tangled up underneath the net, and then LeBron turns and pushes him, and Fred VanVleet's not going to, he's going to stand up for himself there, so he kind of, goes at LeBron a little bit, doesn't touch him. His teammates hold him back, but somehow Freddie gets the foul on the play. I think LeBron missed the free throw anyways, but that was whatever. But it's funny that, Freddie gets the foul for not really doing a whole lot. But anyways, we've seen that before. Damari Carroll, remember that when he allegedly knocked LeBron James in the face, even though it was his own teammate? That was a couple of years ago in the playoffs. It's stupid. But you know what, guys? I'm angry because this team had it. They had plenty opportunities to put this Cleveland Cavaliers team away, and they couldn't. Kyle Korver was nuts. Every time this guy had the ball, at any point, I was like, oh boy. He had 19 points. He was only 5 of 12 from 3, but it felt like every time he shot the ball, it was going to go in. And the problem, guys, is this team could not win when Kevin Love was ice cold. He only had 7 points in the game. He was 3 of 13 shooting, 1 of 4 from 3. He was abysmal. But J.R. Smith with 20 and Kyle Korver with 19. That was a big factor. Look, the Raptors held LeBron to 26 points on 12 of 30 shooting. They did a great job, as good of a job as you can do against LeBron James, but it's the Kyle Korvers and the J.R. Smiths and Jeff Green with 16, and Thompson murdered the Raptors in the game, 14 and 12 in only 26 minutes. This team, they couldn't close the game. Now, there were times late in the game where I'm seeing stupid ISO ball and I don't like it, and the Raptors were missing their shots. I'm not going to say that was the entire quarter because they did get some wide open looks and they just did not knock them down. At one point in the fourth quarter, I think I saw 5 of 20 from the field. That's awful. Credit to the Cleveland Cavaliers for grinding it out on the road and getting the victory, but this Raptor team has to find a way to close out games a lot better than they did today. It was a story earlier on in the year, this team not being able to close down tight games. They kind of got away from that whole aspect and got into a good rhythm with it. But we saw it today. Couldn't hold the lead, and you couldn't make your big shots late. That was a big problem. They have to do that in the next game. Speaking of next game, Game 2 goes Thursday early evening, 6 p.m. tip-off at the Air Canada Centre. And I think for the Raptors, look, it's a must-win. You can't go down 0-2 on the road in Cleveland. You just can't do it. This team, today was a game that you needed to win. They didn't. And it hurts to know how many opportunities. I'm probably going to have nightmares tonight about every opportunity this team had late in the game to put some points on the board, and they couldn't. It kills me. But you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. You guys enjoyed this video, and hey, you guys enjoyed the game overall because I'm sweating here. That's how much this game was so stressful. Hit that like button if you guys enjoyed this one. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below what you guys think of this game. Where did the Raptors go wrong here late in the game? I want to hear what you guys have to say. And we'll talk to you guys very shortly. Jays Edition. They're tied right now against the Twins. They look for the late game victory over the Minnesota Twins and win that series, win their 3rd straight. That'll be nice for them. And as for the Raptors, Game 2 of the Eastern Conference semifinals between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Raptors, 6 p.m. tip-off at the ACC Thursday evening. A must-win. This team's got to come out, I wouldn't say desperate, but they got to come out flying, and they got to close the game better, all right? So we'll talk to you guys then, hoping to go back to Cleveland with a split series.